Welcome everybody in Mr. Pine's Algebra 1 classes. Today, which was Thursday, May 31st, I handed out a packet with review questions from chapters 5 and 6 and 7, and you worked on those in class, but I promised that I would post these videos that walk through the answers to those questions. So these are going to be several different videos. You might actually want to stop here or pause and put page numbers at the bottoms of the sheets, because I've decided the easiest way to navigate through this is to recognize that there are more than a dozen pages, and I'm just going to go through them one by one. So this video will just talk about the questions from the first page, page 1. And this first question is right here from chapter 5.1, number 1. You're asked to come up with the equation of a line in slope-intercept form. Well, slope-intercept form is this. It's y equals mx plus b. And remember, m stands for slope, and b stands for y-intercept. Well, the nice news is in this first question, they've given you the slope and the y-intercept. So all you have to do is plug it in. Y equals mx plus b becomes y equals 1/2 x for the slope plus -3 for this y-intercept. Or you might write it in shorthand, y equals 1/2 x minus 3. This is the answer that I'm looking for right here. Next slide. You're asked this time again, slope-intercept, but this time to look at a graph, to look at a line graph and come up with that equation. Well, again, you need just two pieces. I'll go back just to remind you. You really just need two pieces. You need to know the slope and the y-intercept. Often, one jumps out at you more quickly than the other. In this case, I've written down slope first. I've noted a place right here where this line seems to go through the crosshairs in the graph, right here. And then I've noted another spot right here where that seems to happen. So you go up 4 and over 1 to move from this first spot to this here, the second spot. So remember, slope is rise over run. I don't know, this is a typo here. That's supposed to say 4. It's 4 over 1. And how about your y-intercept? I said there are two things you need. Well, there's that y-intercept. It crosses right there, and I've said that looks to me like the y-intercept is 3. Great, now I have the two pieces that I need. I've got 4 over 1 and 3. So I write it down. My equation is y equals 4 over 1x plus 3. Next one. Number 3. This time I've got a word problem, but it involves the same activity. I've got a starting amount and a rate of change. The starting amount is my y-intercept. That's what y-intercepts always are. They are the starting amount. So if you wanted to graph your height, you're not born at 0 inches. Maybe you're born at 20 inches or whatever your length was, and then you go up from there. Well, this babysitter starts at a starting amount of $20. Even if she shows up and they say, well, you know, we only need you for half an hour, it's still $20. The way that she babysits is she charges that $20 plus $2 for every pet in the house. It's an interesting approach. It's a word problem. I made it up. So my starting amount, or my y-intercept, is 20. My rate of change is $2 per pet. So I've written those two things down. Y-intercept is 20. Rate of change is the same as slope, is $2. And I just plug those two things into a formula. Y equals 2. I could have called it x, but I called it p for pet. Y equals 2p plus 20. That's my equation that goes with this story, this word problem. And one more question on page 1. Pay no attention to this yellow square here. It's just covering up a mistake by me. But this time we're talking about point-slope form instead of slope-intercept form. And it's easy to confuse the two because they both have slope in their name. So just to remind you, point-slope form says y minus y1 is equal to m, that's still slope, times x minus x1. So point-slope form is really easy if they give you a slope and they give you 1 point, because you just plug those two things in. Well, this time they did. There's the slope, and there's 1 point. So let's get going on plugging them in. The slope gets plugged in where m was. So now I've got y minus y1 equals negative 5 times x minus x1. And the second thing to plug in is this point. I plug it in place of y1 and x1, and it becomes y minus minus 2, because y1 is already negative 2, and it's supposed to be negative y1, so minus minus 2, minus 5, I keep that slope, times x minus minus 4, because that's negative 4. Now I'm just going to clean that up. Minus minus becomes plus, and it becomes y plus 2 equals, and x minus minus 4 becomes x plus 4. So there's my answer right here. And that's it for the first video. Go back to my website and move on, if you like, to the second video for page 2.